You think your world is safe. It is an illusion. A comforting lie told to protect you. Enjoy these final moments of peace. For I have returned to have my vengeance.
Hello and welcome to IGN. I am Tom Butler. This is Daniel Krupa.
Hello.
We are doing this quick video for you because you have been to see Star Trek 2 Into Darkness. Not all of it.
Quite a bit of it.
Like,
I turned up and it was supposed to be 20 minutes of footage at the IMAX in Waterloo in London. And the producer came out, it's like, we're actually going to show you the first 28 minutes of the movie.
Wow.
And then a few more scenes quite far into the movie.
Okay, so at this juncture, it's worth saying that we are going to talk about the first 28 minutes of Star Trek Into Darkness in spoilerific detail. So if you do not want to know any more about the Star Trek sequel, stop watching now, because Daniel is going to blub all of it.
I'm just going to ruin it for you.
Yeah, I haven't heard this yet, so he's going to ruin it for me. So
I'm
I am taking one for the team.
I'm going to ruin it for Rich, our cameraman, as well. So I'm basically ruining everyone's day. Okay, so obviously they showed some footage before The Hobbit, so there's a little bit of overlap with what we're going to do here. But we start off on the red planet that you see in the trailer, and Bones and Kirk are running through this like red forest, and they're being pursued by the natives. Basically, Kirk is stolen a sacred artifact that this primitive tribe worship. It's like their god, their religion, and they're running away. Basically there's a situation on this planet. The volcano is about to explode and kill the indigenous people. And Kirk, being Kirk, wants to stop this from happening, so they send Spock into the volcano to detonate like a dark matter bomb to solidify the volcano to save these people. But one of the core directives of Starfleet is not to interfere with less advanced civilizations. So they're trying to do it on the stealthily. So the Enterprise is underwater. And they basically don't want to show us primitive people who have not even invented the wheel.
So they're like cavemen type people, or aliens.
Yeah, they're aliens. So they've got big black eyes and they're like white and they're quite scary, but they're quite humanoid.
So let me just get this straight. Kirk's stealing something from them.
Yeah, basically.
But Spock's trying to save them.
Yeah, basically, Kirk steals this scroll to lure them away from the volcano to a safe distance. Oh,
so it's all a ploy to save them.
He's got their best interests at heart.
Got it.
And something goes terribly wrong. Spock gets stuck in the volcano. He's got this massive suit on that looks like it's made out of copper.
I remember seeing set photos of them.
People thought this might be something to do with the Genesis device, but it's not at all. It's basically trying to stop this volcano from erupting. Sulu's piloting a little ship above him, holding Spock on a wire. The wire breaks. Spock is trapped there. The Enterprise is underwater. The Enterprise can't take off because it takes off to save Spock. The indigenous people will see the Enterprise, and it will basically just crumble their world. It would violate core directive of Starfleet.
Got it.
So Spock says to Kirk, "You have to leave me to die."
Right.
Kirk, being Kirk, says to Bones, "What would Spock do in this situation?" And Bones just says, "Well, he'd let you die." But Kirk obviously just takes off the Enterprise out of the water. These people who've never seen a wheel just lose their minds, and he saves Spock, and they beam him out. And Kirk just brushes it off. He goes, "Oh, it doesn't matter." They've just seen a spaceship, but instantly these people stop worshipping the scroll. They throw it into the dirt. They start jumping up and down, and in the red sand, they draw a picture of the Starship Enterprise and start worshipping it.
Oh my god!
And that picture of the Starship Enterprise match cuts to it flying through space.
Nice.
And then the music kicks in. And it's a Star Trek.
Into Darkness.
Yes.
Okay, great. So that's the very opening scene. Yeah,
so it's like in the first movie, it's straight into action.
Yeah.
There's no exposition. You will learn all that stuff as you go along. It's not like we're going to this planet to, for this mission. It's you just pick it up as you go along.
Yeah.
It's really exciting, really exhilarating.
Yeah.
These are my notes. This is on my IGN provided iPad mini. So basically, he gets reprimanded for this.
So the scene that you saw after that was what happens in the movie straight after the credits?
Yeah, so this is a principal edit. This is what they're working on, so it should be the same. Then we flip to London, stuff that people have already seen before, The Hobbit with Noel Clarke. And Benedict Cumberbatch, but that's quite brief, and I think people probably know about that, so I might just gloss over that. We then go to Starfleet Academy, and Kirk is basically bragging. You get to see Kirk in bed with a lady.
Excellent.
Two lady aliens. One has scales and one has a tail.
There you go, you heard it here first.
Basically, Kirk's on about he wants to go on this new mission to chart deeper space, with Spock because he thinks it'd be exciting. He calls Spock Mr. Pointy quite a lot.
I like that, yeah.
And basically, Pike just bollocks Kirk for his actions on this island.
He's the head of Starfleet, or is he just like the Starfleet?
Well, he's kind of been retired.
Academy?
He's part of the Academy
okay.
now.
Okay,
he's not
yeah.
in active duty, so
Yeah.
he gives him a... He basically... I keep saying basically. He has a go at Kirk saying, you don't think the rules apply to you anymore.
Okay.
I used to think you were special, now I just think you're arrogant.
Right.
And Kirk just takes the line that the rules don't apply to me because I'm better than everyone else.
Which he is,
Yeah,
obviously.
he says, you know, how many people have died under my watch since the Enterprise? 0.
Yeah.
But Spock kind of grasses him up. He files his report as Spock would,
Yeah.
detailing what happened on the planet. And the Enterprise is taken away from Kirk, is demoted.
Okay.
Spock is transferred to another ship. Kirk is sent back to Starfleet Academy.
Right.
Pike saves in the last minute. Pike is given back the Enterprise, and Kirk is made his first officer.
Okay.
So we're kind of back a few steps, and that's basically where that scene ends. And you've seen there's lots of references to the first film. Actually, there's a lot of parallels. So like Kirk in bed with an alien.
Yeah.
There's a really good scene with Kirk and Pike in a bar.
Okay.
Like mirroring in the first movie,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's saying we've been here before, and he basically says you're going to be my first officer, and I still believe in you ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for fans of the first one, it seems like it's more of the same. The banter's there, like the flashy effects are there.
Yeah, there's a lot of humour like there was in the first movie,
Yeah.
and the characterisation is just spot on.
Okay.
You know, the archetypes are there, and they're just riffing off each other. It doesn't feel like they've been away, it's straight back into the action, and you get the impression that they've been on lots of missions together,
Okay.
and the team has really bonded.
Yeah. And obviously, you might be able to play some of those missions in the game, which is coming
that's
out
the
as well.
theory,
So,
anyway.
because we've seen a bit of that as well. So then you got to see a bit more later on in the movie. Is that the
Yeah,
point where you saw more?
yeah, so the first 28 minutes, it ends with John Harrison appearing and starting to attack Starfleet.
John Harrison is Benedict Cumberbatch's
It's
character.
Benedict Cumberbatch's character, and he's waging a one-man army against Starfleet.
Okay.
And we don't yet know why that really is.
Because he's Sherlock Holmes.
Because he's Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. So, flash forward and further into the movie, there's this amazing sequence where the Enterprise has been attacked. The Enterprise is falling from the sky, tumbling towards Earth.
Okay.
And so imagine the scene from Inception when they're walking down a corridor
Yeah.
and it gimbals and
Yeah.
it turns outside and they're running at walls. Imagine that, but in the Enterprise.
Oh my God.
So Kirk's running down corridors. You know, Star Trek has the best corridor running of any
Yeah.
movie ever. And then the corridors start turning, so they're running on the sides and then jumping across other kind of
It
side
sounds a
corridors.
little bit like not Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Jedi. Revenge of the Sith. Because you know where there's the big star battle at the
Yeah.
start, and then Anakin goes in to take down General Grievous, and the ship starts
Yeah,
falling,
so
they're
it's like-
falling down and running along the walls.
Totally,
and stuff like that.
but they keep going to further, deeper levels of the starship. So
Okay.
it's quite Inception-like in the corridors.
Yeah.
But then they go to engineering, and
Okay.
engineering is like this huge factory.
Yeah.
And that starts turning on its side.
Oh my God, okay.
And eventually, the Starship Enterprise crashes into Earth.
Wow. So is that the scene we've seen in the trailer where it comes? Is it into the Thames? Is it?
No, it crashes into the San Francisco Bay,
Okay.
the Starfleet headquarters.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
And that kind of bleeds into the next scene, which is Spock pursuing Benedict Cumberbatch's character across San Francisco,
Awesome.
and it's brilliant.
So this is a futuristic San Francisco,
Yes.
but based in the San Francisco that exists already. But
Yeah,
with
it's just
bigger extra
extrapolated
bits.
upon.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
so there's recognizable landmarks that you know. There's the bridge, etc.
Yeah, that bridge.
That just that one that's in
Yeah.
all the movies.
Yeah.
So Spock's just dashing across San Francisco, running really fast. It runs quite like Forrest Gump,
Okay.
but because he's very rigid, like Spock would run. Like
Yeah.
Spock would probably run in the most aerodynamic way.
Yeah.
And he has very aerodynamic ears.
Yes.
And
yeah.
he's really fast.
Yeah.
And it's very exhilarating. They start jumping between flying cars and
Okay.
they basically have a fist fight.
Okay. And is that where it ended for you?
It's where it's ended, but I might want to drop in one big spoiler.
Yeah.
In a scene where Harrison attacks Starfleet Academy,
Yeah.
I think Pike gets killed.
Wow, that was a big spoiler.
And another big spoiler, I think for a majority of the movie, Spock might be captain of the Enterprise.
Interesting.
So there you go. Ruined your day.
Yeah, so if you've watched this to this point and you didn't mean to, then I'm sorry.
So, shall we begin?
for everything Star Trek Into Darkness, stay tuned to IGN.com.